Welcome to today's Latin lesson for Psalm 1 from the Latin Vulgate. Before we get started, though, I should mention, link in the description below if you want the full Latin experience, vocab sheets, worksheets, flashcard decks, members-only lessons, and much, much more. You can find me on Patreon, link in the bio, patreon.com/Wartburg Philology, tiers starting as low as $3. Now, let's get on with the lesson. So, Psalm 1 from the Vulgate goes, Beatus vir, qui non habiet in consilio impiorum, et in via peccatorum non statit, et in cathedra pestilentiae non sedit. That's the first verse. So, Beatus, blessed. Beatus a is a nominative singular masculine. Vir viri is masculine, nominative singular masculine in this case, and the to be verb is implied as it often is in Latin. So Beatus vir would literally be blessed man, but it implies blessed is the man. Qui is a relative pronoun, meaning who, qui, quae, quod are the principal parts you'll find in the dictionary. Nominative singular masculine in this case, referring to the blessed man. Non is no or not. Abiit, principal parts, abio, abire, abi, abitum, third person singular perfect active indicative. Hath walked in the Douay Rheims English translation, which we'll be using for the primary source of the English here, or you could say has walked in modern English. In, same as English, in, it governs the ablative case, if you know your cases, and concilio is concilium concilii, a ablative singular neuter, so it's in the ablative, so in would be governing concilio, so in the council. Impiorum, impius a principal parts, genitive plural masculine, of the ungodly. So in concilio impiorum is in the council of the ungodly or the wicked. Et, and, in via viae, feminine ablative singular, in the way, so and in the way, et in via, peccatorum, peccator, peccatoris, masculine genitive plural, of sinners, of the sinners, so et in via peccatorum, and in the way of sinners, non stated, so no, not, sto stare stati statum, third person singular perfect active indicative, in this case more colorfully translated, nor hath stood in the Douay Rheims, but does not stand. So, and in the way of sinners does not stand. Et in cathedra, cathedrae, where we get the word cathedral, ablative singular feminine, and in the chair. Cathedral is referencing the chair that the bishop sits in, and that's what makes a church a cathedral, by the way. Little history side note. Pestilentiae, of pestilence, genitive singular feminine, pestilentiae, non sedit. Sedio, sedere, sedi, sessum, third person singular, perfect active indicative, nor hath sat, or and does not sit, in the chair of pestilence. So, blessed is the man, beatus vir, qui non habiet in concilio impiorum, who hath not walked in the counsel of the ungodly, et in via peccatorum non stated, nor stood in the way of sinners, et in cathedra pestilentiae non sedit, nor sat in the chair of pestilence. Verse 2, moving on. Sed in lege domini voluntas eius, et in lege, or lege, for doing the ecclesiastic pronunciation, et in lege eius meditabitur die ac nocte. But his will is the law of the Lord, and on his law he shall meditate day and night. Sed, but, in, of course in, lege, lex legis, ablative singular feminine, in the law, domini, dominus domini, genitive singular masculine, of the Lord. So, but in the law of the Lord, voluntas voluntatis, nominative singular feminine, will, is ea id, genitive singular masculine, his. In the Douay Rheims English, but his will is the will of the Lord. His will is the law of the Lord, excuse me. And in Latin syntax, things get split up a lot. more differently than they would be in English. So, sed voluntas eius in lege Domini is more like how you would construct that in English, but his will is in the law of the Lord. Literally, but in law Lord's his will. Et in lege eius. Try giving that one a guess, given what we just looked at there. I'll give you a second. And in his law, et in lege eius. Literally, and in law his. Meditabitur. Sounds familiar. It's where we get the word meditation. Meditor, meditari, meditatus sum. Third person singular future active indicative. He shall meditate, he will ponder. Meditabitur. Die, dies die. Can be masculine or feminine. Ablative singular, meaning day. Ac is another word for and nocte, nox noctis, feminine ablative singular, night. Verse 3. Et erit tamquam lignum quod plantatum est secus decursus aquarum quod fructum suum dabit in tempore suo. And he shall be like a tree which is planted near the running waters, which shall bring forth its fruit in due season. Erit comes from sum esse fui futurus. Third person singular future active indicative, he shall be. So et erit, and he shall be. Tamquam is an uninflected adverb meaning like, as, or just as. Lignum, lignum ligni, is nominative singular neuter meaning tree. So we get the word ligaments actually. Qui quae quod, relative pronoun once again, nominative singular neuter, which or that. Plantatum, planto plantare, plantavi plantatus, nominative singular neuter in this case, perfect passive participle, is planted or is set. Plantatum est, I should say, is the whole structure there. Secus, near or alongside, uninflected preposition taking the accusative. Decursus is a downward running, downward course in the accusative plural masculine. Decursus, but what kind of down running? Of waters. It's a downward running of waters. Aqua, aquae, feminine genitive plural. Quod, qui quae quod, once again, this is the singular neuter of the relative pronoun, which or that. Fructum, fructus, fructus, accusative singular masculine. Suum, suis a meaning it's his or her, depending on the gender. In this case, accusative singular masculine, possessive adjective. Dabit, do dare dedi datum, third person singular future active indicative, shall bring forth or will give. In, of course, meaning in. Tempore, time or season. Tempus, temporis, it's where we get the word tempest or tempestuous. Ablative singular neuter, and once again, possessive adjective, suo, in the ablative singular neuter, meaning it's in this case. And to go back to the beginning there, and he shall be like a tree, et erit tamquam lignum, quod plantatum est, which is planted, secus decursus aquarum, near the running waters, which shall bring forth its fruit, quod fructum suum dabit, in due season, in tempore suo. The next verse. Et folium eos non defluet, and his leaf shall not fall off, and all whatsoever he shall do shall prosper, et omnia quaecumque faciet prosperabuntur. Folium is a leaf. Folium folii, nominative singular neuter. It's where we get words like folder. A folder is where you keep all your leaves, your pieces of paper. Is ea id, genitive singular neuter, its. Non defluet. So defluo, defluere, defluxi, defluctum. Third person singular future active indicative. Shall not fall off, will not wither. Known in this case, making it negative. Et and omnia, omnis omne, nominative plural neuter, all or everything. Quaecumque, quicumque, quaecumque, quodcumque, nominative, plural, neuter, relative pronoun, whatsoever or whatever. Facio, facere, feci, factum, third person singular, future active indicative, he shall do or he shall make. Prosperabuntur, prospero, prosperare, prosperavi, prosperatus, third person plural, future passive indicative, shall prosper, will succeed. So, et folium eus non defluet, and his leaf, et folium eus, non defluet, shall not fall off, et omnia quaecumque faciet, in all whatsoever he shall do, prosperabuntur, shall prosper. Next verse. Non sic impi, non sic, sed tamquam pulvis, quem proicit ventus a facie terrae. Sic is so or thus. Non sic then becomes not so. Impi, impius a nominative plural masculine, the wicked, the ungodly. Non sic, repeating not so. So not so the wicked, not so the ungodly. Sed tamquam pulvis, pulveres, nominative singular masculine of dust or powder, so we get pulverized. Quem, qui quae quod, accusative singular masculine of the relative pronoun, which or whom. Proicio, proicere, proieci, proiectum, third person singular, present active indicative, driveth or casts out. Ventus is wind, so we get ventilation. Ventus venti, nominative singular masculine. A is a preposition that takes the ablative, meaning from or by, in this case from. A facie, face or surface. Facies facie, ablative singular feminine, so takes the ablative. There's the ablative, so we know that these two are related together. Terrae, terra, terrae, genitive singular feminine, of the earth, of the land. So, not so the wicked, not so. Non sic impi, non sic. Sed tamquam pulvis quem proicit ventus a facie terrae. But like the dust which the wind driveth from the face of the earth. Verse 5. Therefore the wicked shall not rise again in judgment, nor sinners in the council of the just. Ideo non resurgent impi in judicio, neque peccatores in concilio justorum. Ideo is an adverb meaning therefore, for this reason. Resurgo, resurgere, resurrexi, resurrectum, third person plural, future active indicative, shall rise again, will resurrect. Non resurgent, meaning they is implied. There's no pronoun present in the verse, but they shall not resurrect. Non resurgent. Impi, impius a we've seen this already. The wicked, the ungodly, nominative plural masculine. In judicio. Judicium, judici, ablative singular neuter. In judgment, in the trial. And you know it's ablative because it's preceded by in. Neque, nor. Peccatores is a plural masculine nominative. Peccator, peccatores. Sinners or wrongdoers. In concilio, concilium, concilii, ablative singular neuter. In the council or in the assembly. In, once again, taking the ablative, so you know the concilio ending is the ablative. Justorum, justus a genitive plural masculine, of the just, of the righteous. So, therefore the wicked, ideo, therefore the wicked shall not rise again. Ideo non resurgent impi in judicio, in judgment. Neque peccatores, nor sinners, in concilio justorum, in the council of the just. Verse 6, we continue. Quoniam novit Dominus viam justorum et iter impiorum peribit. For the Lord knoweth the way of the just, and the way of the wicked shall perish. Quoniam, for or because, in this case for. Novit, nosco, noscere, novi, notum, third person, singular present, active indicative, knoweth, knows. So we get both the words knowledge and gnostic. Dominus, Dominus Domini, nominative singular masculine, the Lord. Viam, via viae, feminine accusative singular, way or path. justorum, justosa once again, genitive plural masculine, of the just, of the righteous. Iter, itineris, accusative singular neuter, way or journey. It's another way of saying way, implying a journey. That's where we get if you go on like a tour or a trip or something, you may have an itinerary, which is your outline of the way or the journey that you will take. Et iter, and the way, impiorum, impiosa genitive plural masculine, of the wicked or ungodly. Peribit, third person singular future active indicative of pereo, perire, perii, peritum, shall perish, will be destroyed. So, we repeat, quoniam novit Dominus viam justorum, for the Lord knoweth the way of the just, et iter impiorum peribit, and the way of the wicked shall perish. And that is it. That is all 6 verses of Psalm 1 in Latin from the Latin Vulgate, English from the Douay Rheims. Thank you for watching. Once again, link in the description if you would like the full Latin experience. There will be a supplementary on Patreon. There'll be a supplementary vocabulary list. You can see a little preview of that in the bottom corner there. And there's going to be bonus videos getting released, flashcards, study guides. If you really want to take your Latin to the next level, then please sign up. Tiers starting as low as $3. Patreon.com/WartburgPhilology. Thank you for watching if you've made it this far. And if you have made it this far, I do highly recommend getting on the Patreon, because you're definitely serious if you made it this far. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one.